Hello students, welcome to Legacy IAS Academy. Today we are going to discuss about the important places that can be relevant for the upcoming UPSC Prelims examination in 2022. We are going to discuss slightly about all these important places and why they have made the news headlines. So let us start. The first place that we are going to discuss is about Lonar Lake. Now Lonar Lake is a lake situated in the state of Maharashtra in India, and this lake made a news headline because the water of this lake has turned, as you can see from the picture, kind of pinkish to reddish in the color. And upon investigation, the scientists from the Pune, they found out that the reason behind the coloration of this Lonar Lake water into reddish color is because of the presence of a kind of micro organism which is a species of bacteria called as Haloarchaea bacteria. These bacteria generally resides in the water which is having very high level of salinity or salt content. And the reason why suddenly we have high level of salinity in the Lonar Lake is believed to be because of three factors. The first was, since Lonar Lake lies in an area where rainfall is relatively less, so absence of rain. Second factor was lack of human interference or less human interference, and third is the high temperature. So these three factors in a combined way has turned the Lonar Lake water into salinity, salt water, high salt water that breeded the bacteria Haloarchaea microbes. Now if you look at the Lonar Lake, it is a type of meteoritic crater lake. Meteoritic crater lake generally forms when we have a meteorite that hits the earth's surface, and due to the impact of this hit, a kind of crater or a kind of depression is formed on the surface of the earth. So it is believed somewhere around 50,000 years ago, a meteorite hit the earth around the area where Lonar Lake is created, and due to the impact, such lake was created. If you look at the location, here we have Lonar Lake, that is somewhere we can say in the eastern part of Maharashtra. Apart from this, Lonar Lake also has been in year 2019 declared as a National Geoheritage Monument by Geological Survey of India. And its relevance lies and importance lies in the fact that it is one of the four known hypervelocity impact crater that is formed in the basaltic rock. Now that is very important. All the other three crater that is formed in basaltic rock lies in the southern Brazil, and apart from that, India has only one of the crater lake formed in basaltic rock. Apart from that, all other areas where we have crater lakes are formed generally in the granitic rock. The reason is simple, because the continental landmass is made up of lighter granitic rock, while the oceanic landmass is made up of basaltic rock. So now obviously the question comes that why Lonar Lake is a crater in basaltic rock, and this reason we can understood from the from understanding that how this whole area of Maharashtra plateau has formed. So as we can understand, Lonar Lake lies in the area which is also called as Deccan Peninsula, and whole Deccan Peninsula actually has formed due to the eruption of volcanic eruption, and thus upsurge of large amount of basaltic magma, basaltic lava somewhere when India was passing from nearby Reunion Island in the Indian Ocean. So due to this, the whole landmass, the whole rock structure is basaltic, and when the impact of meteorite happened, it formed a crater in the basaltic rock. But generally other places in the earth we have granitic because it is the continental landmass. Not only that, in the November month 2020, the Lonar Lake has also been included as a Ramsar site of India. Ramsar is a place in Iran where World Wetland Convention was signed in the 2nd of February 1971, and it is due to this region that every year on the 2nd of February we celebrate World Wetlands Day. Now the next place that has made the news headline is something that is called as Carmichael Mine, that is situated in Australia. If you look at the location on this map, we can say this is the area in the light, in the dark, that shaded region is the Carmichael Mine, and it is situated in the Queensland province that lies in the eastern coast of Australia. Nearby Carmichael Mine, you can see just on slightly away from the coastline, you can see one of the most important feature of the earth, that is Great Barrier Reef. The longest reef of the world is found, and here we have Hay Point and here we have Abbott Point, which are very important ports. So why Carmichael Mine is news? Because recently Adani Group, that is one of the largest business empire of India, they have decided that they'll begin exporting high quality of low sulfur coal from the Carmichael Mine for their energy plants in India. Now here one other thing you have to keep in mind, that few years back there was again one dispute because Adani Group wanted to dredge this Great Barrier Reef. Dredge means to widen the Great Barrier Reef so that it can easily transport the coal via ship, by large ship from the Carmichael mines to the India. However, this matter was referred to the court by environmentalists, and court said that such dredging will not be permitted as it will harm the Great Barrier Reef and thus will harm the overall biodiversity of this particular region. The third place which we have to discuss is the Donbas region. Donbas region is a region that collectively made up of two different provinces, Donetsk and Luhansk. Now this region was in news since 2014, since in 2014 Russia has annexed Crimea, as you can see from here, of Ukraine, and also since then a large part of Donetsk and Luhansk or Donbas region was under the Russian control, and since 2014 continuously there has been a fighting going on between the rebels of Russian occupied Donbas and the Ukrainian army. Again, recently this has made news because as Russia started its invasion of Ukraine, it has again started to increase its shelling and increase its occupation, and now this has become a main hotbed of conflict in the Russia and Ukraine. So why this region is important? Because this region is very close to iron ore basins of Kryvyi Rih. Also Kerch iron ore basin is nearby. Apart from that, in the Nikopol we have manganese rich region, and just we can see on this side, this is a small sea, you can see this is called as Sea of Azov, and Sea of Azov is connected to Black Sea, and Black Sea is further connected to Mediterranean Sea, and Mediterranean Sea is further connected to Indian Ocean via Gulf of Suez, and Atlantic Ocean via your Strait of Gibraltar. So having access to Donbas region will give large scale access to Russia on the iron ore manganese reserve as well as the port access for both military purposes as well as the economic purposes. Nearby the same region, as you can see, we have also Mariupol. Mariupol is the region where you have one of the largest steel plant of Ukraine or a Commonwealth of Independent States, that is Azovstal, is situated, where also very intense fighting is going on. So for this particular year, two places you have to keep in mind. We have Donetsk, Luhansk, which is collectively called as Donbas. Nearby we have Mariupol, which is a port. Then we have Crimea, which has already been occupied by Russia since 2014. And then we have Odisha, which is also an important port. And Russia right now wants to or tries to occupy all these coastal regions or port regions so that it can make Ukraine a landlocked nation and have full control over the Black Sea. The next place which is important from prelims perspective is ATTIL Tunnel. Now ATTIL Tunnel, as you can see, is a tunnel that is constructed from Dhundi region near Solang district of Himachal Pradesh up to Sissu region in the upper side. So ATTIL Tunnel basically is believed to be, as of now, world's longest highway tunnel that is situated above the height of 10,000 feet, and it has a length of almost 9.02 km, and this tunnel will connect Manali Valley in the south to Himachal Pradesh to Lahaul Spiti Valley in the north in the Himachal Pradesh region. So overall it will cut down the time of travel between these two regions, that is Manali and Lahaul Spiti, by almost 1/4. The next important place that has made a news is called as Chisumale-Demchok Road. Chisumale-Demchok Road has been declared by the Guinness Book of World Record as the world's highest motorable road. Before this, the world's highest motorable road was present in the country called as Bolivia, which is a Latin American, South American country. The Chisumale-Demchok Road passes through a pass that is called as Yumlingla Pass, which is situated at the height of almost 19,000 feet. And completion of this road will be very important, not only from connectivity point of commercial connectivity or civilian connectivity, but also from military point of view, because after the connection this road, it will be easier for the Indian Army to mobilize its troops, equipments, including even rations at the time of war or at the time of general mobilization. Then the next place that we have discussed is called as Darwaja Gas Crater. Darwaja Gas Crater, as you can see, is a very large crater that is burning since a very long period of time. It is situated in Turkmenistan. And why this is important? Because the fire in this Darwaja crater has been burning since 1971, and the fire is believed to have started during a Soviet drilling operation. It is believed that Soviet engineers believe that there is a large scale oil or gas reserve in this area, and they wanted to drill to find out that where this or how deep this oil and gas reserve lies. While drilling, what happened, there was a kind of gas the reservoir and gas pipe was there that was struck by the drilling operations, and due to this the methane gas started to emerge out or emits out. Then engineers thought that there will be some small pocket of methane gas that is being released, so they put out we can say they actually started a fire so that they can burn the methane gas. They thought that within few months or within few weeks the methane gas will burn out, and again they can start the operations of drilling. However, what happened? The methane gas is believed to be much larger in quantity as expected, and that is why since 1971 the fire that has started then has continuously been going on. The location of this crater lies in the middle of Karakum Desert, which is just 260 kilometers away from the capital of Turkmenistan. The capital of Turkmenistan is Ashgabat. And recently it has made headlines because the president of Turkmenistan has decided that this crater should be closed for the public viewing. Till now this crater attracted a lot of tourists, and that is why Turkmenistan, because the danger that is this crater poses to the health and also the hazard that it can cause for the people, it has been decided to close this crater down. Now, since we are talking about Turkmenistan, one other thing that we have to understand in sidelines is that few years back there was a project called as Tapi gas line project that was projected to complete in the coming years, so that gas transportation can be made possible via Turkmenistan, passing through Afghanistan, then Pakistan, and finally in the Fazilka region of India. However, due to certain regions, this pipeline is not still completed. However, this project is still we can say exists on the paper. The next place which we have to understand about is called as Hunga Islands. Hunga Island actually is an island of a country called as Tonga. If you try to understand its location, it is situated in the Central Pacific, just slightly away from the Fiji, and it's slightly to the north of New Zealand. Now, why this Hunga Island have made a news? Because there has been a incident of undersea volcanic eruption. This undersea volcanic eruption also triggered a tsunami waves that was felt more than 2,000 kilometers away from the point of volcanic eruption. The intensity of eruption we can understood from the point that the ash plume that were generated because of this volcanic eruption went as far as 20 kilometers in the sky, and we can look from the satellite picture. You can see this ash plume has covered the whole islands, and for very long period of time it was very difficult to understand that what kind of damage has happened on this particular island. The shock waves, as we discussed, were felt up to 2,000 kilometers from the point of volcanic eruption. The next place is Sela Pass Tunnel. Sela Pass Tunnel has been again constructed by Border Roads Organization in the state of Arunachal Pradesh. This tunnel extends for a distance of almost 12.04 kilometers, and actually it is a group of two different tunnels. This tunnel is important because after construction, after completion, it is believed that it will be able to provide all-weather connectivity to Tawang. Right now, we do not have all-weather connectivity to Tawang because in winter times, the major arterial roadways are blocked due to heavy snowfall. And that is why this tunnel will be very important from a strategic point of view, because once completed, it will cut down the travel time to Tawang by at least 1 hour for Indian troops who are stationed in the adjoining Assam's Tezpur district. Now, Tawang is very important in a strategic point because, to remind you, Tawang is also a very Buddhist influenced area, especially Tibetan Buddhist influenced area, and China has continuously laid its claim on the Tawang and has said that Tawang belongs to the China. The tunnel has been constructed at the total cost of Rs 687 crores by the Border Roads Organization. So, from a strategic point of view, this is a very important project. So, just keep in mind the name of this tunnel, Sela Pass Tunnel in Arunachal Pradesh, connectivity to the Tawang. The next place is something that is called as Rajamati Di Balu. Rajamati Di Balu is a kind of landscape, very similar to we can say like Chambal landscape. It is kind of badland topography which is situated between the Visakhapatnam and Bhimnipatnam district of Andhra Pradesh. So this Rajamati Di Balu has made a news because the people and the Geological Survey of India have agreed together that they will conserve and protect this particular landscape. This landscape also has been declared as a National Geological Heritage Monument by Geological Survey of India, and this landscape actually has been carved by various geophysical processes that has occurred over thousands and thousands of years in the past over the Khondalite rocks. Khondalite rocks are rocks that are found generally in the eastern Ghats of India. It is believed that this particular kind of landscapes of tunnel of this particular landscape has formed due to actions of global climatic changes, sea level variations, monsoonal variability, as well as continuous erosion by both water and air over a long period of time. So it gives a very unique landscape where we have a lot of such kind of mountainous, or we can say small hillocks and hills rising up, having a red hue, and in between the valleys we have large scale forest that covers the valley regions. Then the next place that we have discussed is called as Nada Bet in the state of Gujarat, which is also called as Wagha of Gujarat. Now Wagha Attari is a border where India and Pakistan shares a border in the Punjab province. So why this Nada Bet has made a news? Because Union Home Minister Amit Shah recently have inaugurated an Indo-Pakistan border viewing point in this region, and this lies almost 188 km from the main city of Gujarat, that is Ahmedabad. This border viewing point has been unveiled as a part of Seema Darshan project. Seema Darshan project actually is a joint initiative of Gujarat State Tourism Department as well as Border Security Force. The main aim of Seema Darshan project is to bring a lot of tourists in these international border areas, especially where a lot of small villages are there, and for them there are not a lot of economic opportunities. So by bringing a lot of tourists to these areas, economic opportunities can be created for the local populace. The next important area or region which is in news is the Black Sea region. Especially this region has made headlines since Russia has launched its war over Ukraine. So some important points which we have to understand about Black Sea. The first point you have to remember is that which are the countries which border the Black Sea. So if you look at one by one, the first country is Bulgaria, then after we have Romania, then third we have is Moldova. Sorry, Moldova does not have border with Black Sea. Moldova is a landlocked country. So we have Bulgaria, Romania, then third we have is Ukraine, then fourth we have is Russia, then we have Georgia, and finally we have Turkey, which has the longest border and have a very strategic control over Black Sea. So apart from Black Sea, as we discussed here, we have Sea of Azov that is situated between Russia, Ukraine, and Sea of Azov is connected to Black Sea via a strait that is called as Kerch Strait. Now this is very important for this year prelims examination. Strait of Kerch. Strait, if you want to understand definition, strait is a narrow water body that separates or joins two large water bodies. So Kerch Strait is joining Sea of Azov on the north and Black Sea on the south. Further, while moving south, what we can see is here we have city of Istanbul, and Istanbul is connected near Istanbul. Black Sea is connected to a small sea that is called as Sea of Marmara via a strait called as, we can say, Bosphorus Strait. So that is another important strait. Bosphorus Strait connects Black Sea to the Sea of Marmara. Further coming south, Sea of Marmara is connected to Aegean Sea, which is part of Mediterranean Sea, via a strait that is called as Dardanelles Strait. So these three straits are very important, whose name you should remember. First, Kerch Strait connecting Sea of Azov to Black Sea. Second is Bosphorus Strait connecting Black Sea to the Sea of Marmara. And third is Dardanelles Strait connecting Sea of Marmara to the Aegean Sea, which is part of Mediterranean Sea. Here also one other protocol, one accord is there that you have to keep in mind, that is called as Montreux Accord. So it is the Montreux Accord which gives a right to Turkey to control the inflow and outflow of traffic, marine traffic from and to the Black Sea. Then the next place which we have discussed is the Gulf of Gapes. Gulf of Gapes is also known by the other name of Lesser Sirtis. So Gulf of Gapes, as you can see from the map here, is situated nearby Tunisia or around the Mediterranean Sea region, along its coast of Mediterranean Sea regions. So why Gulf of Gapes has made news? Because recently a fuel ship with almost 750 tons of diesel sank off the Gulf of Gapes in the Tunisia. Apart from that, Gulf of Gapes is also very important because it is only part of the Mediterranean Sea outside, we can say, Strait of Gibraltar, where we have a substantial tidal range. Not only that, it is believed that in the Gulf of Gapes region we have a very large scale reserve of both oil as well as natural gas, which can be later on discovered and later on can be utilized. Now the next place that has made a headline is called as Nusantara. Nusantara is important because it is going to become Indonesia's new capital. If we try to look at this location, it is located at the Borneo Island in the East Kalimantan district of Indonesia. Indonesia is a country, one of the largest Southeast Asian countries, are largely made up of volcanic island chains. The current capital is situated at Jakarta, which is on the islands of Java, while the new capital will be situated in the islands of Borneo. Now, question comes that why Indonesia has decided to shift its capital from Jakarta to Nusantara. So the main reason is because almost 1/3 or 33% of current capital of Jakarta is believed to be underwater by year 2050 due to continuous rise of sea level as well as the sinking of Jakarta as well. So that is why, as in the long run, it is difficult to maintain the population here and difficult to maintain all the infrastructure here. That is why they wanted to shift the capital here. However, Indonesia is not the only country in Southeast Asia which has shifted its capital. Before that, in year 2003, it was Malaysia, which is situated around somewhere around this region. It has shifted its government from Kuala Lumpur to Putrajaya. Similarly, in 2006, Myanmar is another Southeast Asian country which has shifted its capital from Yangon to Naypyidaw. So Indonesia is going to be the third such country. Apart from that, one other thing you have to keep in mind here is on the islands of Sumatra, we have a volcanic eruption that has happened in last year called as Mount Shinbung. Mount Shinbung was a very disastrous volcanic eruption that has happened in the 2021. It is situated in the islands of Sumatra, that is here. The reason why Indonesia suffered from a severe volcanic, large number of volcanic eruption is because it lies on the, we can say is lying on the region where we have meeting of Pacific plate and Indian plate, and as Pacific plate is denser plate, it sinks below the Indian plate, and due to sinking we have a large scale volcanic eruption, and that is why Indonesia as well as Philippines have large number of volcanic eruption continuously. The next place we have discussed is the Golan Heights. Golan Heights is a region that is, you can see from here, is situated at the border of Lebanon in the north, Syria in the west, east, and Israel in the west. Golan Heights actually made a headlines because Israel government has recently announced a $317 million plan to double the Jewish settlement population in the Golan Heights. The Golan Heights actually was captured by Israel in year 1967 during the Middle East War and later annexed as a territory of Israel. The Golan Heights was captured from Syria by Israel. It has made international news, and that is why United Nations had to intervene, and since then United Nations Disengagement Observer Force has been continuously settled at the Golan Heights regions. Golan Heights, apart from that, if you look at that, on the western side of Golan Heights we have very important Sea of Galilee, while on the northern side of Golan Heights we have a river called as, this northern side we have a river called as Jordan River. Not only that, Golan Heights, since it is a kind of latitude, we can say it is kind of plateau area, it gives a strategic advantage to the Israel, because by capturing the Golan Heights, Israel is easily able to monitor any kind of activity that is coming from Syria or that might be coming from the Jordan. So it is also very, very important from the security point of view of Israel. The next place we have discussed is called as Longtang Micro Hydro Electricity Project. Longtang Micro Hydro Electricity Project is a project in Nepal, and it is Nepal's first hydropower project from a glacial lake that has actually become functional. Glacial lake is a lake that is formed due to movement of glaciers. They carved out a large depression, and gradually as the glacial melts, it fills up the lake with water. The completion of this project has been done by Hong Kong-based Kaduri Charitable Foundation, and as a result of this hydropower project, this project will be able to generate 100 kilowatt of electricity. This 100 kilowatt of electricity will be able to provide 24 hours of electricity to almost 120 households and tourist lodges in the district of Kyanjin and Longtang in Nepal. The next place we have discussed news, it is India's first steel road that has came up in the Hazira district of Surat. This road has been commissioned with the help of ArcelorMittal Nippon Steel India with Council for Scientific and Industrial Research CSIR as well as Central Road Research Institute, that is CRRI. It is formed or developed by 100% processed steel slag. The road is 6 lane and extends up to distance of 1 kilometers. The main advantage of using the steel slag in the road is that the thickness of road can be reduced by 30%, and also since the steel slag is anyway industrial waste, it can be utilized for construction purposes and will have advantage from both sides. The next place we have discussed is Mount Harriet. Mount Harriet is actually third tallest peak of or highest peak of Andaman Nicobar after Saddle Peak in North Andaman and Mount Wheeler in Middle Andaman. Now Mount Harriet has made a headline because Union government recently has renamed the Mount Harriet, a historical tourist spot, as a Mount Manipur. Now why it has been renamed as Mount Manipur? So reason is simple. There was an Anglo-Manipur War of 1891 where Kingdom of Manipur has fought a war with British that extended for over a period of 1 month. As a result of defeat of Manipuri garrison, almost 23 prisoners were kept on Mount Harriet by British, which is a hillock. And to give homage to these 23 prisoners that were kept at Mount Harriet and the contribution, to showcase the contribution of Manipur in the Anglo-Manipur War of 1891, the government has decided to rename the Mount Harriet as Mount Manipur. Mount Harriet is situated in the South Andaman, and nearby you can see we have an island called as Havelock Island, which is very famous island. The highest peak is Saddle Peak, that is at the altitude of 737 meters. Also what we see that as you move from north to south, the height of the Andaman Nicobar Islands keeps on continuously decreasing. Then here one other important water body that you have to understand is that we have North Andaman, Middle Andaman, South Andaman, and South Andaman and Little Andaman are bifurcated or separated by a channel that is called as Duncan Passage. So that is also very important from prelims point of view. Further, the Andaman and Nicobar are separated by another water channel that is called as a 10-degree channel. Then the further next important place we have discussed is called as Satyamangalam Tiger Reserve, which is situated in the Tamil Nadu region in the Erode district. Now, why Satyamangalam Tiger Reserve has made a news headline? Because it has received a very prestigious award called as TX2 Award or T/2 Award. This award is given to the Satyamangalam Tiger Reserve because it has been able to increase or double its tigers number to 80 since 2010. And in 2013, it also has become the 4th tiger reserve as a part of Project Tiger in the state of Tamil Nadu. Then next place that has made a news headlines is the India's first JIO Park that has came up in the Jabalpur. This park is important because in 1928 actually, William Henry Sleeman, who was a British geologist, had discovered the dinosaur fossils from this area. GSI recently has approved the setting of the country's first JIO Park at Lamheta village, which is situated on the bank of Narmada River in the district of Jabalpur. Now, what is JIO Park? So, JIO Park is defined as a unified area which advances the protection and use of geological heritage in a very sustainable manner. Apart from that, it also promotes the economic well-being of the people that resides in this area. So, the first JIO Park of India that is situated in the Lamheta village in the district of Jabalpur. Next news is regarding Konark Sun Temple. The reason is because it has become, Konark is going to become the first model town of Odisha, which is going to shift from the grid dependency to green energy. That means all the energy consumption of this Konark town as well as the Konark Sun Temple will be made from the green energy. Now coming to Konark Sun Temple, so it is as clear from the name, it is a temple dedicated to the sun god and it is attributed to Narsimha Dev I, who belonged to Eastern Ganga density. Also, it is believed that this temple was constructed somewhere in the 13th century. Not only that, it has also been declared as a UNESCO World Heritage Site and also well known for an annual Chandrabhaga Mela, which is which attracts a lot of tourists to the Konark. Konark, if you look at its geographical location, it is a coastal area situated just slightly north to another important place called as Puri, which is situated just north to a very important geographical lake that is largest saltwater lake of India called as Chilka Lake. So south of Chilka Lake, we have another important place called as Gopalpur on sea. So 4 places on the coastline of Odisha: Gopalpur on sea, further north we have Chilka Lake, further north we have Puri, and further north we have Konark, where we have important sun temple. Konark Sun Temple is made from the black granitic rock, and that is why British also used to refer it by the name of Black Pagoda. Then the next place that has made up on news headlines is called as Tristan de Cunha. Now Tristan de Cunha actually is a group of islands situated in the central Atlantic Ocean. The reason why it has been made a news headline is because it is actually controlled by United Kingdom, so it is a British overseas territory, and UK has declared it to be the largest fully protected marine reserves in the Atlantic Ocean. With this, it has become the 4th largest completely protected marine area in the world. Not only that, Tristan de Cunha is also believed to be the world's most remote human settlement, and the people who have settled here actually they have this genetic disorder that is called as retinitis pigmentosa, where they have a kind of pigment, a kind of dark pigment that is believed to be that is observed on the retina of the people that reside here, called as retinitis pigmentosa. So what will the impact of declaration of Tristan de Cunha as protected marine reserve is that activities like fishing, mining and any such activities that can threaten the biodiversity as well as ecology of this island will not be allowed anymore. So that's all about the important places that has made news headline in last 1 year that can be relevant for the UPSC Prelims Examination in 2022. That's all for this particular video. I hope you like this video and will be helpful for you in the upcoming examination. Thank you very much.